In today's video, we're going to be focusing on the Treatum territory and the Woodlands territory. For those that don't know, we have a dominant green anole named Thor, and he's been the dominant green anole of both territories, Treatum and Woodlands. But today we're going to focus on this guy right here, Rango, with the purple coloration. And we're focusing on Rango because yesterday I spotted Rango in both the Treatum and the Woodlands territory in Thor's vicinity, and he even bobbed his head and displayed his dewlap, and we got no reaction from Thor. It made me wonder, is Thor still the dominant green anole in the Treatum and Woodlands territory, or has Rango taken over? So today we're gonna find out. This male green anole right here was the first male to show up in the Treatum territory. This would be unusual if there was another male that was dominating this area, like for example Zeus. When Zeus was dominant in the Treatum territory, Zeus didn't allow any males in the area at all. He actually didn't allow any males within his sight. When Thor dominates, it's different. He actually allows other males to be in his territory as long as they're respectful and submissive. Rango's original territory was the wall, which is to the right of here. He's came to the Woodlands territory to claim it as his own. And we see he's bobbing his head and displaying his dewlap, and there's no one there to challenge him. So as for right now, this is his territory as well. I haven't seen Thor come over here. At first, Thor was dominant in Treatum and Woodlands. And if we look at his head, you can see the scar on top of his head, so he was in a territorial dispute. But I'm not sure with whom. There's Thor making his way up. Here we have one of our green tree frogs. You can see his webbed feet. Now we see Thor to the left bobbing his head, and Rango was to the right. They had eyes on each other. Here's an interesting situation right here. We have Rex, and he's getting territorial with the brown anole. The brown anole doesn't seem that afraid at first. We don't see this often, but when we do see it, majority of the time it's the green anole that's dominant over the brown anole. But a lot of people think that brown anoles bully green anoles. When Rex approaches, the brown anole, who's a lot smaller, chooses to run away. Now this is one of our baby hatchling brown anoles right here. He's looking for something to eat. And here we have Dracon in the platform territory. He's the dominant male green anole over here in this area. I thought I was going to be able to catch this green tree frog leaping, but I switched the camera back to this baby anole because I thought he was going to grab something. And then the green tree frog did its leap. Here we have a female up top, Thor in the middle, and then that Scar down below. We see that Thor isn't really too much bothered by Scar, who's another male. The baby can see that mealworm, but it's almost the same size as him, so he's not gonna go for it. Now this is kind of a middle area right here, and we don't know who's dominant. Normally submissive anoles are in this area, and look who we see. This is Zeus. fresh orange on. But Zeus is a submissive anole. I just saw something happen over here. In the last video I showed that Cutter was making his way up here. And check him out, he's right there bobbing his head. Cutter has turned this into his territory. So no matter where Zeus goes, if Zeus goes over here, Cutter is gonna chase him away, which it looks like he's on his way there. And then if he tries to go over here, look who was already there, ready to chase him away. He probably just did and we missed it. And that's why Zeus is going back the other way. But this is Dracon right here. And let's zoom out. Just over here is Zeus. So this is an interesting situation for Zeus, because if he goes right, he's now in Cutter's territory. If he goes left, he's in Dracon's territory. But he has to get heat, so he has to find a way to get there, and he chooses this bottom path. He's not quite up there where Cutter can see him. Cutter's up there, but he's down here. Cutter cannot see him. Now, if he comes over into Thor's territory, Thor is very lenient. I think Thor will allow him to bask. Let's see where he goes. Because you see, Thor is allowing this male, whoever he is, I'm not sure who this male is right here, but he's allowing him to bask here. It makes me wonder, is Thor the dominant one? Okay, we have Zeus right here, and then Cutter's on his way. Cutter chased Zeus down. He became the dominant anole over there. I want to introduce you guys to Zeus on the left, and then Cutter, the dominant anole from the Woodlands territory just to the right. There's Treatum and Woodlands. Not long after removing Thor from Treatum, all the submissive anoles started to battle for the territory. There's Zeus leaping right at Cutter. Now both of these guys were actually ready to battle. There wasn't much sizing up. They got right to it, and they're gonna lock jaws. That's Zeus on the top and then Cutter below. The anole with the most confidence normally wins. And right here it looked like Zeus was backing away from Cutter. If Cutter wins this, he's the dominant anole over at the Woodlands territory and the Treatum territory. So that's a lot more females that he can mate with. But Zeus wasn't done yet. Now Zeus is the one approaching, and it looks like Cutter is retreating. Cutter has had enough and he leaps back toward his Woodlands territory. That makes Zeus the new dominant anole of the Treatum territory. That was Zeus defeating Cutter a few weeks ago, but ranks switch all the time with these anoles. Now Cutter is dominant over Zeus. But there are no females in Cutter's territory, the Leafly territory, so every day he tries to make his way into Thor's territory to mate with the female. Now Cutter is right on the edge of his territory, kind of entering Thor's, and Thor reacts. Here's Zeus. He had fell down to the bottom. Now there's Scar right above Thor, and when Thor walks up, he flees away. Although Thor wasn't really being that territorial in that situation, he was just repositioning. Now we have Cutter on the leaf right here, and he's looking at Thor. He wants to get to one of the females in Thor's territory. Watch how Thor reacts. There's the female right there. As soon as he went for it, Thor strikes. He misses. Strikes again. And Cutter dodges that. But we can see that Thor is not okay with Cutter being in the area like he's okay with Scar. Because Scar is not disrespectful. He doesn't try to mate with any of the females. He doesn't bob his head, display his dewlap, show the crest above his head and on his neck. He pretty much just basks and eats. So Thor pushes Cutter up the tree and out of the treedom territory. There's a brown anole up top. Now Cutter decides to jump back down into the treedom territory. He's determined to mate. His territory is up there to the left. It's called the Leafly territory, but there are no females over there. And the whole purpose of having a territory is to be able to mate with the females that live in your territory and create offspring. So there's a female right there in the middle of Thor and Cutter. Cutter's gonna think twice about it and decide to go back to his territory. That's gonna be it for this video, but I want to let you guys know I'm gonna be live streaming every day at 2:30. Right when this premiere ends, the live stream will be starting. I play relaxing nature sounds while we observe the territories in real time. In today's stream, I'll be removing Thor from the treedom territory and placing him into the rope palms territory. And then I'll take Rex out of the rope palms territory and put him into the treedom territory. We don't want Thor battling as much as he has to battle in the treedom territory, and I want to give him a chance to get a little bigger by hunting the flies that are over in the rope palms territory.